to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Governor Andy Beshear held a COVID-19 briefing yesterday where he discussed new CDC guidelines and how COVID updates will be communicated to the public. Despite the new COVID-19 mapping system, our entire region is still in the red. We wanted to ask health officials why this is and when they expect to see that change. WYMT's Alyssa Williams spoke to healthcare officials to try and answer those questions.
Governor Beshear announced on Monday that the CDC changed the way they measure COVID-19 severity, which means that Kentucky counties will now be categorized by low, medium, and high COVID-19 community levels.
You know, COVID is being seen as now it's a fact of life. It's going to be with us. It's not going away anytime soon.
This new method will focus on a combination of incidence rates, the number of hospital beds being used, and the number of COVID-19 patients occupying hospital capacities.
What you'll see is we've basically gone from all red, which were previous indicators, to a lot of yellow, some green. We haven't seen green in any form in a long time, as well as some red on here. We anticipate that a lot of this red will be yellow within the next week.
Public Health Director for the Kentucky River District Health Department, Scott Lockard, says although many eastern Kentucky counties are categorized as high COVID-19 community levels right now, in a few weeks the region should catch up with the rest of the state.
These Appalachian Mountains are great. They protect us from a lot of things, and sometimes it means that we get the virus and we get things that are happening elsewhere a little bit later.
Lockard adds that this new method of COVID measurement is a much more balanced approach than previous methods.
We're just really trying to take a step back and get a broader look here, a big picture look at what's going on in the community instead of just looking at transmission rates to determine what our approach should be in that community.
Continuing to learn more throughout our fight against COVID-19. In Hazard, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Governor Beshear also announced that COVID-19 numbers will be posted weekly from now on. Public Health Director for the Kentucky River District Health Department, Scott Lockard, adds that even though things are looking up for the region in terms of COVID, we should still follow all COVID-19 precautions, especially while we're in the red zone.
Well, if you like clouds and mild-ish temperatures right around average, then today was the day for you. But we've got more showers on the way as we head into tonight. That's kind of what these clouds are indicating to us, that we've got clouds on, or we've got showers, I should say, on the way. We've got plenty of clouds around right now. Out front here at WYMT, still watching plenty of cloud cover as we look out the front door. Same thing as we head out to the Mountain Parkway at Slade. You'll also notice that it used to be when we were at 6 o'clock, this view would be completely dark, but we're increasing those days, the length of those days as we head towards the first day of spring. Upper 40s to low 50s in our far southern counties. Everybody else in the low to mid 40s thanks to that cloud cover sticking with us. Rain works back in overnight. I'll have the details on that as we fall into the low 40s coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Gasoline costs are skyrocketing for Kentucky businesses. We spoke to two in southern Kentucky that are seeing the cost to be in business escalate with no end in sight. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the situation from Pulaski County.
Charles Day runs his own business and is watching his expenses go through the roof.
So about every day I'm putting in $75 more and less just to get through the day back and forth to work.
The high cost of gas is only compounded by supply issues that sometimes has him driving to multiple locations just to get supplies for one job.
3 of them in Tennessee, 1 in Lexington, 1 in Louisville, just to get the material we need.
Inflation is already high, and unfortunately because of this, it's likely to go even higher because the cost to take things places to be driven somewhere is going to result in those prices on the shelves going up.
We're having to pass it along to our consumers or to our customers, and because it's part of the increase, so it's just making milk higher.
Prairie Farms in Somerset ships to Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee locations.
Fuel is driving all the pricing to us up. supplies and everything else.
So how much does a fill-up cost right now?
About $120.
$120.
Yes, sir. Every bit of it.
Money spent just to make money. Experienced by many. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The Prairie Farms general manager says products on the store shelves will increase in cost as gas prices go up. Today, Governor Andy Beshear was asked if he would take any steps to lower those gas prices. He said the legislature sets the gas tax rate. Lawmakers would have to make those changes. The governor said his team is looking at other ways to save Kentuckians money, like freezing car taxes to help offset the increased costs in gas. The state of Kentucky has millions of dollars invested in Russia. Rumors about the investments got attention online last week. Yesterday, the Public Pension Oversight Board discussed the situation. The Lexington Herald-Leader says the investments come from public pension funds. The holdings were worth about $62 million before Russia's economy crashed. Kentucky's teacher retirement system had about $32 million in holdings in Russia. Pension leaders say it would be very difficult to divest that money because it's just a fraction of TRS's total assets. A controversial unemployment bill is headed to Governor Beshear's desk tonight. House Bill 4 would limit the time people can stay on unemployment and create new requirements to qualify. Lawmakers in favor of the bill say it will push people to find work. Those against it say it hurts people in communities where jobs are scarce, like many parts of eastern Kentucky. The bill will now go to Governor Beshear and is expected to be vetoed, but lawmakers have enough votes to override that veto. The National Alliance on Mental Illness held its 7th annual rally in Frankfort this morning. Supporters for mental health gathered in the rotunda to hear what lawmakers are doing to support mental health. Several bills are going through the General Assembly right now. House Bill 48 would prevent anyone with severe mental illness from receiving the death penalty. House Bill 174 would extend medical coverage for women for a year after giving birth. House Bill 44 would approve mental health as a reason for an excused absence from school. Lawmakers say they're committed to making a difference in mental health outcomes in the state.
You all are out there each and every day on the front lines fighting this depression, this anxiety, this nervousness, this distress that we so often see in our modern world.
Lawmakers took time after the rally today to thank those that came out, and organizations like NAMI saying that their door is always open if they can help in any way. Students in Williamsburg were sent home early today because of a bomb threat. Williamsburg police officers say students at Williamsburg Independent School were evacuated after the threat. They say the building was searched and no hazardous or explosive devices were found. Police say they are still investigating, and right now it's not clear who made the threat. This week is National Consumer Protection Week, and Attorney General Daniel Cameron wanted to share 3 main types of scams that were reported to his office in 2021. Attorney General Cameron's office reported more than 7,000 consumer-reported scams, which accounted for nearly $12 million in losses. 3 types of scams AG Cameron saw were investment scams, impersonation scams, and identity theft. Now, to report a scam, you can go to the Attorney General's website. You can also find tips on how to avoid scams and fraud. A second closing of a Kentucky River bridge in Estill County is planned to begin Wednesday, March 16th. Drivers who use this bridge should make plans to use an alternate route until mid-July. This detour will impact travel between Lee and Owsley counties and Richmond, as well as local Estill County traffic. This closing is needed to continue a project to repair and repaint the Estill County Bridge carrying Kentucky 52 and Kentucky 89 over the river and the CSX Transportation Railroad line. The first ever mini SOAR Summit is in the books, and officials say it was a success with more than 600 people attending and more constructive conversations than anyone could count. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more as the ideas flow out of Ashland and through Appalachia.
Each of you plays a hand in changing the perception of Eastern Kentucky.
Communities coming together.
Well, you know, the mini summit allows it to be a more specific
type of conversations.
Bringing conversations about tourism and revitalization to the table.
Well, a summit like this is fantastic because tourism is not done city by city. It's really done by region.
The SOAR Mini Summit wrapped in Ashland Tuesday.
We're really not competing with one another. We're competing with the rest of the world out there.
Providing a platform to get everyone on the same page and promoting what the region has to offer.
Because when travelers come into a state or a region, they're not looking at county lines or city boundaries. They're looking for experiences.
With workshops and panels to feature some of the ways towns are seeing success, highlighting their assets.
You know, what we sell is really the backdrop of your life.
From street murals to social media.
Our reach, we're not limited by just the amount of people that drive through our region.
Hundreds of minds sharing tips of the trade with professionals from 6 different states.
How they can share some of those wins across county lines, across city lines, into other communities.
And though it is the fuel many attendees say they needed,
after all this time, we're still talking about it.
Yeah. Organizers say the true test is how it translates from the center stage.
And I hope that, you know, whether it's Pikeville or somebody going back to Stanton, they find 1 or 2 things that they can implement easily and they see an impact on it. Then it's been a success, what we've been trying to do here.
To the community streets. In Boyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Those involved say the mini summit was more than they expected, and some city officials are already lining up to have the next mini event hosted in their neck of the woods. Roy Drinkard is a businessman from Alabama with a decades-long connection to the economic development in Hazard and other southeastern American cities. He's also 101 years old. On Tuesday, Hazard officials and students at Hazard High School hosted Drinkard for a long-awaited birthday celebration. Saying he's loved visiting Hazard during the last 3 decades, Drinkard is guided by a simple principle in life and business.
Life is really not what you make it, it's how you take it. It's 90% how you take it. 10% what you make it.
He hopes his projects made life a little better in the communities he helped develop. He'll be 102 later this summer. We'll have much more on Roy and his deep connection to Hazard coming up tonight at 11.
And more cold air follows more showers back into the mountains later tonight. I'll have the very latest on the way next.
And in celebration of International Women's Day, we take a look at how some women in our region are making a big impact on local businesses.